Assalamu alaikum viewers, please like, share and subscribe this channel. Links of PDF files used in this video are given in description. So today is a part 5 of lecture series about NMR spectroscopy, and in this particular lecture we will focus on Fourier Transform NMR spectrometer. So the Fourier Transform instrument is better and more advanced instrument as compared to the continuous wave NMR spectrometer. So this is the net signal which is obtained by free induction decay, like after absorption of various frequencies the different types of protons then emit signal. Now this signal is in the form of chaos, and after applying Fourier transform or mathematical operation, this time domain signal is converted into a frequency domain signal, and like there are a particular frequency peaks, like one peak is at 10 hertz, second peak is at 50 hertz, and third is at 120 hertz. So we get from chaos into a more clear form of spectrum, and this is the basic operational principle. So we have taken the analogy of playing piano keys with that of the continuous wave instrument. So here the continuous wave instrument is working like this, that it scan the whole spectrum from moving left to right. So a complete scan of a spectrum happens in about 5 to 10 minutes. So this sweeping mechanism is just like we are playing the piano key one at a time, and each piano key then is connected to a particular string. So the continuous wave instrument works just like the piano keys. As we move from left to right, one time one key is pressed. Similarly, the instrument scan, and at one time only one type of protons give their peak. So one of the disadvantages of continuous wave instrument was peak ringing. So if we are seeing that this is the main peak, however trailing peak has several types of rings which is called as peak ringing. So this is the disadvantage of using continuous wave instrument. Why this happens? Actually the pen position moves forward from left to right with the increase of magnetic field. However, as it moves, still the nuclei, they are lagging behind, they are in relaxing phase, and when they relax then the pen moves forward. So as a result of which this is the ringing pattern which is produced. So this is the disadvantage of continuous wave instrument, that it produces peaks, and these peaks have trailing rings. So in this slide we have again taken the analogy of playing piano. So in this we have done a comparison between the simultaneous excitation via the radio frequency pulse and between the continuous wave pattern. So this is the old sweep method. We are pressing one key at a time and only one type of protons are get excited and they give their peak or signal. However, the RF or radio frequency pulse is the way in which simultaneously all the protons are excited, and this happens when the FTR NMR instrument strike an ultra short burst of energy which is focused around 90 megahertz for the time second of 1 to microseconds. So this short burst of this energy is enough to excite all the magnetic nuclei present in a molecule. So what this means in FT instrument, that we are pressing all the keys of piano at a single time, at one time. So all different protons are getting excited and then they de-excite, then they emit signal simultaneously. So playing all the keys at one time is the perfect analogy for describing FT-NMR spectrometer. Now the question is how this pulse, which consists of so many frequencies, is generated. So what we do, would we will on the radio frequency generator only a very short period of time, like just from 1 to 10 microseconds. And what will happen that this time is so much short, then instead of generating 90 megahertz frequency simultaneously, it produces a burst of frequencies, and these frequencies are spread around 90 megahertz. So this collection of frequencies is produced because when we make on and off the instrument's light source, which is radio frequency oscillator or generator, for 1 to 10 microseconds, then it is not so much strong enough to produce exactly 90 megahertz energy for a greater period of time. Instead, it produces a collection, a burst of frequencies. This burst of frequencies is enough to capture all distinct types of hydrogen signals at single time. Now all various types of protons, then after getting excited state, they relax and they emit energy, and this emitted energy is in the form of a signal which is called as free induction decay. So like this is a one type of proton, this is another type of proton, and this is another type of proton. Now all these three types of protons, they emit their signal, and collectively when we get this signal, then there is a complex fading emission, and this is called as FID signal. So FID signal is the indication of Fourier Transform NMR instrument. So this is produced when energy pulse terminates, so each nucleus simultaneously emits its own frequency. So let's take an example of acetone in order to understand what is the FID signal or free induction decay signal. So all these six protons are chemically equivalent, so they produce or get excited, and when they de-excite, then they emit a single frequency, and this signal of the frequency decays with the passage of time. Initially it is very strong, then after a passing of time this signal decays, and this is called as FID signal. So this FID signal is in time domain, like this signal decays with the passage of time. However, what we do, we apply a mathematical operation which is called as Fourier Transform, and this time domain signal is then get converted into frequency domain signal, and we get a frequency of 2.1 ppm. So in this way, the mathematical operation of Fourier transform rotates the perspective, like it changes the time domain signal into a frequency domain signal. So in this way we get the signal of emission of all 6 protons of acetone at a value of 2.1 ppm. So let's take an example of FID signal of more complex molecules such as ethyl phenyl acetate. Now we are again seeing a chaotic superimposition of multiple frequencies of different types of protons that are present in ethyl phenyl acetate. The decaying frequencies are superimposed with each other, and it is not possible to decode them by an eye. So it requires the power of computer to resolve this time domain signal into a frequency domain signal, and we apply the mathematical operation of Fourier transform to complete this task. So this slide describes the FT-NMR workflow, which is from pulse to complete spectrum. So in the first stage, the frequency of various types is striked with the matter, which consists of various types of protons. Then these nuclei go to excited state. After getting excited, they then de-excite, and when they de-excite, they emit a signal in the form of time domain. And after then, by using the power of computational analysis, and by using the mathematical operation of algorithm of Fourier transform, we convert this FID complex signal into a simplified frequency domain signal in which we get the peak of every distinct type of proton that is present in a molecule. So how the Fourier transform transforms the this very complex signal into different frequencies. So we can take the analogy of a prism. We know that white light enters in prism and it is separated into different colors or different wavelengths. So just like this prism, the Fourier transform mathematical operations systematically break apart the chaotic free induction decay signal into very precise frequency signals. So one thing is signal. Signal means emission of electromagnetic radiation after de-excitation of protons, whereas noise is the signal which is coming from electric fluctuations. So it is better to remove the signal from the noise. So this can be achieved by doing multiple scans. So we know that only 1 second is enough to scan the whole molecule or to get the spectrum of all types of protons in a molecule. So what we do one scan, second scan, and third scan, and then from these scans we remove the noise. How to remove the noise, or how the system identifies that a particular signal is a noise? For example, if you are seeing here that this is the peak, this is second time appearing, and this is third time appearing, and we sum up all these scans and finally we get this peak, and this peak is finally shows in the spectrum. All other peaks are appearing in the spectrum, these are noise. So how system identify that a particular peak is not a genuine peak but it is a noise? So the noise signal always fluctuates above and below the baseline with equal strength. So computer identify these signals and ultimately cancel these signals. On the other hand, the actual signal is only one side of a baseline, either it is upward or it is downward, but it never cancel out. So signal to noise ratio improves as a function of the square root of the number of scans. So we can have a better signal over noise ratio only if we do a greater number of scans. So rapid pulses scans allow the instrument to do average of hundreds of results. So noise consists of electronic fluctuations, these are cancelled out, and then we get a genuine signal or genuine peak that correspond to a particular proton in the molecule. So the FT-NMR instrument is more accurate, precise, and we can do very rapid scans with this. However, there is a cost. This instrument is expensive, and why this instrument is expensive? Because we are using superconducting magnets. So this is the magnetic core, and this core is dipped in a cylinder of liquid helium, and this cylinder is then supplied with circulated liquid nitrogen. So this is the Devar flask which almost keep the temperature transfer to 0. So the core magnet is bathed in liquid helium, and why? Because we have to maintain a very stable magnetic field of 14 Tesla for frequencies of about 1600 to 19 megahertz. So to produce a magnetic field of so much strength, we need the superconducting magnets, and these are cooled so that they can generate this stable magnetic field. And we have learned from our previous lectures that greater the magnetic field, greater will be the separation of energy levels between the ground and excited state, and greater will be the signal intensity. So that is why the hardware of the engine or the basic core is this magnetic field which is placed in supercooled environment. So there is a paradigm shift as we move from continuous wave instrument to more advanced instrument which is FT-NMR. So we have given here in this slide a comparison between continuous wave and Fourier transform instrument. So first of all, we talk about mechanism. In continuous wave we are using consequential sweep, whereas in Fourier transform we are doing simultaneous radio frequency pulse. So in continuous wave instrument, scan time is about 5 to 10 minutes, whereas in Fourier transform scan time is in seconds. That is why we do multiple scans in order to enhance our noise signal to noise ratio. Next is the sensitivity. So continuous wave instrument is not so much sensitive, and it is very difficult to get spectrum or good spectrum with very dilute samples. On the other hand, the intensity of Fourier transform instrument is very high, and further by doing computational enhancements, we do the signal averaging and we further enhance the signal intensity. Next is the output format. In continuous wave instrument we get direct frequency domain signal, whereas in FT instrument first we get time domain signal, then by using the FT or Fourier transform algorithm we get the frequency domain signal. So if we see here that this is a molecule and this is the electronegative center, so when the species are attached to the electronegative center, then their peaks appear in downfield area, whereas those which are away from the electronegative center, their peaks appear in the high field area. So the ultimate goal of decoding FID signal is to get the molecular structure at a simultaneous same time. So first FTIR NMR instruments are making the use of quantum spin and making the use of this spinning physics into exact molecular structure, and so this is the basic idea of how FT-NMR instrument works, how its signal is processed by using mathematical operation of Fourier transform, and how we get a perfect signal and how we are moving from this chaos FID signal into this clarified frequency domain signal. So I hope you have well understood this lecture, but if still you feel some confusion, let me know in the comment section. I will respond to your queries as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.